Hi, my name is Lynn Thompson. I'm the president of Cold Steel Incorporated and the chief instructor of our training division. Today I want to talk to you about two new knives for 2012. The Mackinac Hunter is a very rugged folding hunting knife that you can do all kinds of work with. And it's beautifully hollow ground. It comes down to quite a thin edge, and there's lots of belly right here. This is an unsharpened model right here. It's got a lot of belly here, and that belly allows you to do really good work when you're skinning small to medium-sized animals. You can skin a deer with this very handily. It's a little stiffer than the Lone Star Hunter because it's saber ground. The bevel, in other words, doesn't go all the way up to the spine of the blade. It goes up about 2/3 of the way. That leaves that stiffer spine to make the knife a little bit more rigid. It's got this nice continuous curve here, so it cuts well. It does have a choil, so it's easier to resharpen it, get started on a stone. And it does have a finger indentation here to give you a darn good grip. And you can switch, of course, and go into reverse grip and get a good grip that way. The clip is ambidextrous, goes on either side, so you can carry it left or right-handed. It's got a thumb stud to make it quite easy to open. It has a solid stainless steel frame, which gives it great rigidity, and it has Faux Stag handles. These are made out of Delrin, and they're very strong and tough, and we spent a lot of time working on the mold and proper staining to making them look just as realistic as we could. Now, I'd like to have used Stag for these, but Stag scales are quite fragile compared to Delrin. Stag won't hold up to the rough use that I envisioned for this knife. When you put it in and out of water, hot and cold water, when you subject it to blood and sand and dirt, and it gets dropped and inadvertently knocked off things and is roughly handled, it won't stand up. You're going to crack the Stag handle and you're going to be mad at me. So I made the handles out of a very tough plastic called Delrin, and they came out really nice. They look quite realistic, and they offer really good grip, and they're very comfortable in the hand. And another thing about the Mackinac Hunter is I know that a lot of my customers prefer a folding knife that they can wear on their belt. So you can get this knife as is with the clip, or you can get it with a belt sheath. So it gives you a couple different options. The name Mackinac Hunter comes from the Mackinac Bridge that connects Lower Michigan with the Upper Peninsula. My wife's family is from the Upper Peninsula. They're primarily Finns, and I wanted to do a name that honors that side of my family, and also a name that honors my dad's side, which are a long line of farmers. My dad grew up in International Falls, Minnesota, and on a farm there, and the Thompsons are a long line of farmers going back generation after generation. I appreciate lots of the values from the Midwest, and I appreciate the farming ethics that I was brought up with. And in my opinion, there's no one that works harder than a farmer, and farm kids are the salt of the earth. So I wanted to honor that with a name that comes from the Midwest, and so I named this knife the Mackinac Hunter. Its brother knife is the Lone Star Hunter. And I made this knife for all my friends in Texas and in the Southwest. This is, to me, the quintessential Western pocket knife. It's got a long clip point, a 4-inch blade, and notice how wide the blade is. I made both the Mackinac Hunter and the Lone Star Hunter with very wide blades compared to what my competitors are giving you today, and quite thick blades. And the reason I want this width is cutting power. When you have such a wide blade and you flat grind it from the spine all the way down to the edge, you get a shallow V cross section, which is highly conducive to shearing through any kind of soft to moderately hard material. It shears beautifully. It's just a joy to resharpen it. Very easy to resharpen this knife. I've got it coming down here to a fairly thin edge before we put the final candled edge on, so you can put it on any stone and get that sharp chop chop. Like the Mackinac Hunter, it comes with the triad lock. Very, very strong and tough. Withstands a lot of pressure and shock. you'll battle to overcome this knife by hitting the spine or overstriking it. In fact, our test against a 300-pound steel table, we weren't able to do that. It comes with a thumb stud, or you can get it without this thumb stud with a nail nick. In Europe right now, there's a lot of hassles about thumb studs, and so we made this for our European customers and for Americans that want it with a nail nick without a thumb stud. I think it's quite a handsome, classic Western folding knife, and when you add in that triad lock and its enormous strength and stiffness and cutting power, it's a real bargain, and I think you're really going to appreciate the Lone Star Hunter.